Hi guys. Today we're continuing with solving a system of equations algebraically. So far this chapter, we have learned how to solve a system using substitution, which is one algebraic way to solve a system. And yesterday we learned how to solve a system using graphing. Today, our method of choice is going to be elimination. So on tonight's homework, make sure that you are definitely using elimination. To do the concept of elimination, both of your equations must be in standard form. There's a reason for that, and I'll explain it once we do an example. So don't forget standard form is ax plus by equals c. So the x is first, the y is second, and your constant is on the other side of the equal sign. Your goal in elimination is to make one of your variables, either the x or the y, it doesn't matter, have the exact same coefficient in each of your two equations. So remember, we have two equations for a system, but with opposite signs. So if my top x has a positive 3, I want my second equation to have an x with a negative 3. A positive 3 and a negative 3 would eliminate, which is what we are doing today. Let's take a look at an example. Here I have my system of equations. It has two equations. And so to do elimination, first of all, I should make sure that they're both in standard form. And they are. One way that you can tell that they're both in standard form is that when they're stacked on top of each other, everything is lining up nicely. My x's are stacked on top of each other. My y's are stacked on top of each other. Even my equal signs are stacked on top of each other. That's really important for elimination. You want your like terms to be lined up. All right, so if I'm going to solve this using elimination, then I need to make it so that one of my variables has the same coefficient in each equation and has opposite signs in each equation so that that variable will cancel out. I am only allowed to change an equation by doing multiplication. So I need to think of which variable can I change to be the same as the other variable using only multiplication. In this problem, there's one clear variable that will be easier to change than the other one. If I look at my letter x's are a 2 and a 3. Using only multiplication, I cannot easily change a 2 into a 3, and I cannot easily change a 3 into a 2. And so for this example, I will be choosing to not eliminate my letter x. Looking at my letter y's, this is a 1y and this is a 2y. Now I can very easily change a 1 into a 2 using multiplication. All I have to do is multiply by 2. And so I will be choosing to try to eliminate my letter y's. Not only do they both have to be the number 2, they also both have to have opposite signs. Now we got lucky in this equation because my first one is already positive and my second one is already negative. So they've already got opposite signs, and I really just need to change this y into a 2y, and then I'll be ready to eliminate. To do that, you're going to multiply the entire first equation by 2. You do need to distribute the 2 to every term in that first equation. So you're going to multiply the x and the y and the constant. Make sure you're multiplying all three numbers. So the first equation is going to change into 4x plus 2y equals 10. So everything got multiplied by 2. I don't need to change my second equation at all, but I am going to rewrite it underneath the purple equation. And I drew a line underneath it because what I'm going to do next is I'm going to add straight down. I'm going to combine my like terms, going straight down. My x's will add together, my y's will add together, and my constants will add together. I'm also going to take that equal sign and just drop it straight down. Now, the whole point of elimination was to eliminate one of our variables. And so the positive 2y and the negative 2y, those are going to eliminate. And I will not have a letter y on my next step. Adding the numbers together, I get a 7x equals 14. And at this point in time, I'm ready to get my first of two answers. My first answer is x equals 2. That is the process of elimination. Once you have your first answer, you no longer have to use elimination to get your second answer. To get your second answer, you are allowed to use substitution. So I'm going to substitute the x equals 2 into an equation that has both the letter x and y in it because I need to solve for y. So my choices are the original equations, or I could also use the brand new equation. When I'm choosing which equation to use, I choose the equation with the least amount of numbers or the smallest numbers or the least amount of negative signs, right? I just try to find an equation that looks like it won't be too difficult mathematically. And so in this example, I'm going to choose to plug this into the first equation because the first equation, the letter y doesn't even have a number in front of it. There's no negative signs. So I think that's going to be the easiest one. So I'm putting the 2 where the x is over here. And then I'm solving for y. And I get y equals 1. So elimination only has to be done for the first step. For the second step, for your second answer, you can use substitution. Once you have both answers, don't forget to write your final answer as an ordered pair, x comma y, 2 comma 1. For my next problem, I'd like you to try it on your own. So try to figure out which variable can I eliminate. Remember, for elimination, you have to multiply one of your equations by a number. Your goal is to have a variable that has the same number but different signs in each equation. So go ahead and pause the video right now, try this problem out, and then we'll reconnect when you're done. All right. Now in this problem, it was equally easy to eliminate either your x or your y. I'm going to start by showing you how to eliminate your x, just in case you chose that one. And so to eliminate my letter x, I noticed that in the bottom equation, it's a 2x. And so my goal is to make the top equation a negative 2x. So they're both positive right now, and that's not good. So not only do I need this to get a 2 in front of it, I also need it to get a negative sign. And so if I want to eliminate my x's, I'm going to multiply the top equation by negative 2 so that it gets a 2 and also so that the signs will become opposites. Don't forget to distribute to all 3 terms. That's probably the most common mistake. And when a student gets a problem wrong and they ask me to look at it, that's the first thing I check for. I check to make sure, did you distribute to everything? Sometimes we forget to distribute to the y if we're not eliminating the y because it's in the middle of the problem. And sometimes we forget to distribute to the number after the equal sign because maybe we'll write the negative 2 over here and we'll distribute to these two and we'll forget the one after the equal sign. So if you're getting a really weird answer or if you don't think your answer is correct, go back and check and make sure that you multiplied everything because that's the number one mistake on these problems. This is what it looks like after you're done distributing, and then you would solve this. I'm going to let you, hopefully you already did that. Next, though, I want to talk about what if we wanted to eliminate the y instead, because you could have eliminated the y on this problem instead. So if I want to eliminate the letter y instead, this y needs to become a 3y so that they're both 3y's. And also, though, both of my y's are negative right now. So I want this y to turn into a positive 3y. So I have a positive 3 and a negative 3, which will eliminate or cancel. And so because I want to change the sign as well, I would multiply this top equation by a negative 3. That would change this to a plus 3y, which would eliminate with this minus 3y. Again, you're distributing the negative 3 to everything, so it becomes a negative 3x, a positive 3y, and a negative 6. And then, this is how you would eliminate your letter y. Don't forget to get 2 answers, your x and your y, so don't stop after you get that first answer. You've only done half the problem if you're stopping after the first answer. I hope that you got for your answers 1, negative 1. This concludes today's lesson.